Hello and welcome back. Today I'm going to update the ATS-20, and ATS-20 is the bigger brother of the ATS-20. I also made a little video how to update this one as well with the latest libraries. I will do the same for this one. And yeah, my advice would be, if you have not played with Arduinos before, maybe do that first, because if you do it wrong or you install the longer libraries, I'm not sure you really break it, but at least it's not working until you do it correctly. So maybe play with that first. And for both we use different software, so also pick the right one, but I will go through it step by step. And if you are interested about what is actually inside these receivers, then you need to look at the end of my video. I will open and put the microscope. You can see what chip it runs on. So it's not necessarily the receiver chip, but what type of Arduino or, well, processor it's running on. And I will explain a little bit about it, and also what you need to be aware of when you buy one. So hold on, go to the computer. So while my computer is updating, I'm already trying to make an inventory in my mind. Well, it's not a standard Arduino. The display will also not be standard, so we need to find it. I think you can find this directly in the libraries, so that is good. I think we need to replace some files after that. Also the board, the ESP32, it's not standard in the Arduino software, so we need to add that to the Boardmanager. I will show you also how to do that. If you already have an alternative source of the board, then you can add that. I think we need to do that comma separated. I also found that. I will show you exactly. And then we'll just start from the top. First try to find what COM port it is, then find the library we need, and then we try to add the board, and then hopefully I can find out which board I need to select from the Boardmanager, because it's going to be a huge list. So yeah, I start my screen recorder and you can have a look with me. So I made a little list that we just follow. And I think this is what we should do. So we start with Arduino. If you don't have this software, you can download it from their website. It is here, arduino.cc, and software, you can probably download it here. Although if you have not played with Arduino before, it is maybe not the best project to start, because we need to do a lot of things. So I will just start. And you just need to pause it if it is too fast. We start by adding the board to the Boardmanager, because it's not a standard Arduino, so we probably don't have it. So if I go to the boards that we have, I already have my ESP from the Wemos project here. Here are all the standard Arduino. Here is the Nano for the ATS-20, but we need to add another one, and we do that by adding. And this document I will leave below. This document we need to add to our preferences, and that is the list of boards. I already have one, I don't want to lose that, so I just comma separate that and copy that here. If we now go to the board again and the Boardmanager, then it is now reading those JSON files. And if we now look for the ESP, well, the 8266 we already have, but it added now this one. We can install multiple versions, and I will just do the latest one. If this doesn't work, we just pick a earlier version and we wait for this. Okay, that worked. I see the Wemos is also in this package, so maybe I don't need that other package, but okay. Now let's see my checklist. The alternative boards I used yesterday because I had a problem when downloading, and you could see it really took a while. So if this doesn't work, I have two alternatives here. This one is a version 2, this one is only V1, and this is a V2. V2, this is V1, this is also a V2. Don't cut and paste this in your Boardmanager. Okay, now we need the library from Ricardo, and that is in the libraries. So where is my library manager? I'm still looking a little bit. Libraries, manage libraries, and here we have all the add-ons. If you can see here in the bottom, I did this for the ATS-20, the library from Ricardo, the little OLED display, and the fonts. So, but let's check in the libraries anyway if maybe there is a new version available. Sometimes it will even mention right now, okay, there is an update available, but then you need to be careful also if you want to update it or not. For instance, I have one updatable. It is not always that fast. For instance, this Arduino JSON I cannot update, but it's for my subscriber counter with my Wemos, and then I need to stay on version 5, so I specifically don't update that one. But go back. So the PU2 CLR. Oh, you see, Ricardo made several libraries, but we need this one here. I think 473, this one. It is installed. We have the latest version, so we don't need to do that. But if you didn't, make sure you do. So you look for the 3.5. I will make the 3.5. Okay, then we need the TFT display. Let me look for that. And there is some more, but I think we need from Boardmanager this one. I do not have that, so I just pick the latest version, click install. Okay, done that. I think we are done then with all the libraries. We need to download the sketch. That is the sketch from Geert. And let's download that one. Here it is. We can take the latest, the 2.8 TFT version, but we just download everything. Download zip file, download it somewhere where you can find it, and extract it. I will just extract it in my download folder. Okay, so if we go to the download folder, there is a little readme because there is something important that we need to do, and I think that is these two setup files we need to copy, but let me check. Yes, move the and the user. So these two files we need to put in the library. This is some configuration for the display and the touchscreen, which pins goes the data, where you want to have everything. So I probably need to go to my program files. Where is my Arduino? Yeah, Arduino. Do we have library somewhere? Yes. Then where do I find? Here's my TFT library. Yes. Okay, that was a bit confusing. I was looking in the Arduino folder in program files. Arduino. libraries to replace these two files that we need to replace, but it is not here. It turned out it's in the user folder. So you need to go to users, pick your own name, then documents, then Arduino, and then libraries. And here we find the custom libraries we installed. So here we can replace those two setup files. So you need to go to your download folder or wherever that you stored your files. I stored it somewhere else. So here we have the user and the setup. We copy these two files and we need to override that inside this folder here. So it should say yes, replace. Okay, so we replaced both those files. Okay, we start again the Arduino, and now we need to load the sketch. And well, first I'd like to know what port again is my radio. So I open the device manager, open the ports, and then I will connect the radio. We need to switch it on. Hopefully the volume is low. Yes. I put in the USB cable. We need to look in the screen what port it will create. And it is doing a COM12. So hopefully I can select that because it seems a bit high. Let's see. I think somewhere in tools port, yes, 12. Okay, the port is selected. Then we need to load the sketch. Open the sketch. I'm not sure where I am right now. Yeah, I put it a little far away, but you have probably just have it in your download folder. Okay, we loaded the sketch. There is a lot of information. We need to see, do we have this included? This I'm not sure. I didn't install that, but maybe it comes with the other one, and this library we have, so that should not be a problem. Well, we probably here, if it does not work, we selected the port. Now we need to be very sure to select the right board. I need to go here. Yes, I think I just select this one, the dev module, because I would not know which one. A lot of ESP32s. VMOS, no, it's not the VMOS. I will just select the dev module here. Okay, well, let's upload it. It should complain when it's not good. It's first compiling the sketch, we can see in the left bottom and in the right, but my overlay is probably there. You can see a bar. At some point we should see the display go when it's communicating. Well, that seemed to have worked. So let's switch it on. Yes, version 3.1. Switch is on. I hear sound, so the receiver works. So we use the correct library.
Urenlang ontspannen rijdt. Zitcomfort waardoor je één met de auto. Drive together. Mazda.
So we did use the correct library for the chip. The display works, so it's the correct library for the chip, and the touchscreen works, so that's also good. So if you do status, oh, that's very small, but we have nice information, actually fits on the screen, not like the version before that we only saw half. Cool. So that was exciting, but it did work. We still have a working radio, which is great. The display is slightly different, but that way you can also see, yeah, it is updated. When you start it up, you can say it's version 3.1. So that's from Gert and his colleague, and we are sure that we installed the latest Ricardo library. So we are all up to date. That is cool. If you like to see what it looks like inside, you need to keep watching a little bit. And if not, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time. So I quickly cleared out my desk, and here we have the little receivers, and it is the ATS-20 and the ATS-25. And these really vary. The ATS-20, you can buy them starting from 35 euros all the way up to 60 or 70 depending on the store. And the ATS-25 with the bigger display, they start, I think, around 100, depending also if you need to pay tax or not. But now we do, so it starts around the 120, I think. And is it worth it? Well, let's have a closer look. It's all kind of an open source project. A lot of work is done on the library by Ricardo PU2CLR. And it's all based on the Si4732 chip, and you can see different software. That's the cool thing, because it's open source. Many people can work on this and make little adjustments, and or how the user interface looks. And I can show you a little example also what is the stock firmware does, and if you do the latest update, what you get extra, or it looks a little bit different. These were very easy to update. This one I still need to find out. So maybe I can do that today, but at least we can have a look, and I will open it and we can see the differences. So here we have the ATS-20, and as you can see, it has a small display, but it is clear to see. This is the stock firmware. And depending what store, you get the newer. And if you have a cheaper store, this one is one from the cheaper stores. You can see also the laser cut is not necessarily very nice. It is very big on the front, ATS-20. And I had another one before, but HF was not working on that one, so I had to send it back. But it looked, yeah, it looked a little better. So if you buy it cheap, it will look a little bit cheaper. But the inside is the same chip. It is the same Arduino Nano that is in there. I will show you later. And yeah, but you need to find out then how to update the firmware. I made a video also about that. And as you can see, this is the 115, and I think we are already in 307F or something. But you could see the call sign of Ricardo. They are all using this library that Ricardo built. And here is the same ATS-20. You can see it's also the cheaper one. And this one is with the newer firmware, one of the latest. I checked last week that maybe there is already a new one, because they are working almost daily on this to make little improvements. I like that. Yeah, it's 307F already. And you can see they made changes here. The frequency display is a lot bigger, and some of the buttons work different. Here you really have your volume up and down, and you need to push a lot of the time the buttons, while here you push one on volume and then you use your encoder to do the volume. And it's a little bit different. You use a lot more the encoder, but also it somehow feels a lot better to control it. I did a nice job. Yes, and then you have the ATS-25. It is twice or even 3 times the price of the ATS-20. but you get a lot bigger display. It is touchscreen, so you can just touch. Maybe you should use a pen. The encoder is bigger, but the quality of the encoder inside is also better. This one sometimes skips a step. Especially with the cheaper model, I think they put also a cheaper encoder, because my first one I had that I needed to send back, and the encoder responded a lot better. So sometimes you see that it misses a step, and I didn't see that with this one, especially when you turn fast. This one keeps up a lot better than this one. You see, if I turn half, it only, sometimes it does only 1 or 2. And if you do slowly, yeah, it even, so this encoder is not that good, so maybe I can replace that. But I'm just using it. You think maybe why you have 2 of those, but I want to try different firmwares. So it's nice to play with that and see the difference. And but the frequency is the same. It is HF, so it's almost 0 up to 30 MHz. In AM and SSB, and FM band starts at 64, I think, up to a 108, and they don't have airband, so in that sense it's the same. It runs on the same chip, but it's just a different display and a different chip that controls it. Yeah, and the store you buy it really does make sense. I bought the first time, I bought it in AliExpress, the TZT store, I think. I can put the link. And they wrapped it very nicely in the box, a little bit bigger than this one. And it had protection on the top, in the bottom, at the sides. Very well done. And now I bought another store because I just bought the cheapest one. And I just put it with the one little bubble wrap. And they just put it with the antenna. It doesn't come with the USB cable, and the other one did. But that's the difference between 50 euros and 35 euros. And because I wasn't sure if I needed to send it back again, so I thought, okay, I just buy a cheaper one. And I just throw it in the box like this, and then the bubble wrap kind of protects the encoder, hopefully. So that is the cheap way. And the other one was from Banggood, and they use always the same tactic. They just put a little box and it is bumped everywhere, and then sometimes it even has a garbage bag around it to protect it against water, I think. So that is the cheap way. This one is from the ham radio store, and it also had the free return, just like the TZT store. So you pay a little bit more, but they have free return. And how that works, because I needed to use that once, you just start a dispute. You have 2 weeks time to decide if you want to keep it or not. No reason needed to give. And they send you a label, and you send it to your local warehouse, I think, and then it goes collected with all the people that send things back, and then it goes to China. I needed to send it to Rotterdam, but the address was on the label. I just needed to print it, and that's it. Ham radio store, I bought it. It comes like this, in a box, protected. So these people are serious. And it also has the bubbles. Comes with an antenna and also with a USB cable. So you pay more, you get better shipping, free return, and a USB cable. So that you know, but I still bought the cheap ones also, because I didn't know the difference was that big, and the speaker even was also different. So these two have the lower quality speaker, and yeah, this one sounds also better. It's a lot more heavy, battery is a lot bigger, but now I'm already doing a spoiler, and let's open it up. So let's open these up. First, these ones, well, they should be exactly the same. And you can already see this one both have the ATS-20 in the front, while the good one only had it in the back. And it seems that it was metal, or it was just better painted, because it was all black. Somehow it looked a lot better. And the encoder also. So if you do have a little bit more money to spare, then you could really think of buying a 50 euro one. And it should have in the picture then the USB cable. And at that time the TZT store really sold the better ones. and also it had a square speaker, and you will see this one has a round speaker, and well, it doesn't show really that it has a lot of quality. Now I even have some B minus. I hope they are not talking about the quality. And this one is the same. So I am a bit sorry that I didn't buy the €50 one. Exactly the same. This speaker does look fractional better, but let's zoom in a bit more. Well, I don't think we see spectacular changes in these two because they just are exactly the same. And as you can see here, it's the, if you recognize it, is the Arduino Nano. And that's cool because then you can program it yourself if you know how the Arduinos work. And that is kind of cool. Well, all the buttons and the encoder are just directly connected to the front, so it is just a PCB, and it's really just, yeah, the speaker doesn't want to go off. These buttons here are just directly glued and soldered to the front right there, and the little IPS display there. It's an OLED, by the way, and yeah. We can put it in the microscope. So this Arduino Nano runs on the Atmel Mega 328P. And let's have a look where the other one runs on. So let's open the other one. It does have a newer USB port, as you can see. This one is the, I think, the USB-C, I think. Well, this is still the old semi-square one, but that depends on the Arduino. And let me see, can I take the speaker out? No, also not. This one also has a huge battery, as you can see. Look at that in the bottom, the silver one here. Huge battery, so it probably will do a lot longer. And while the chip that it's all about is in this one mounted on the bottom here, in the bottom there now. You can see that in my other video. Here it is just in the open. Let me get the microscope also there. So here we have it. Let me zoom in a little bit more. Yes, here you have it, the Si4732A. So it's the same chip. Only I don't see any Arduino connected here. Let me zoom in again to the board. Yes, if we look here, I don't see any Arduino connected here, and I don't see a processor, so maybe it's in the front. Here we have the processor and the display. It's a touchscreen, and this just looks a bit better. And here we have what it is. Let me get that in the microscope. Okay, here we have it. So it's an ASP32. It's the vroom version, vroom vroom, and well, it comes with 3 fingerprints. Someone left this fingerprint on it. So that means if we are going to program it, we need to see if we can find the ASP32 vroom version. I hope it's in the, if it's in the list. And so we need to look in the Boardmanager, I think, to have a look if we can find it. So I will not focus on the manual right now, how to use everything. There is a Mr. O'Reilly who has a lot of videos. So there you can perfectly see how you need to use it. I'm going to focus on how to upgrade it. And it's cool when you switch it on, you can see all the people that work on it. It's of course the Ricardo from Brazil. You have a Japanese for the PCB design, and you have Geert from the Netherlands, and another guy, I don't know his name, but it's also Dutch, and they all work on it. And if you switch it on, you can see a few of those call signs. They're all hams. So that's cool. So that was exciting, but it did work. We still have a working radio, which is great. The display is slightly different, but that way you can also see, yeah, it is updated. When you start it up, you can say it's version 3.1. So that's from Gert and his colleague, and we are sure that we installed the latest Ricardo library. So we are all up to date. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time.